Does this work? No, this does not work. Okay, hold on. There we go. Maybe. I hope. Who knows? Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? Oh boy. Um. All right. Well, this is not even remotely centered. All right. Well, anyway. So yeah. So here we go. We're back, or we're finally on, I should say. I don't really know what the issue was, but I will tell you the same downstream. Oh, it's gone. Okay, interesting. Anyway, uh, this shot should look a little different. I'm gonna give you points to the first person who knows why, who can figure out why. Then I'll explain the encoder issue, and I'll explain how time may be of essence tonight, or importance tonight, because we may or may not have a lot of time tonight. No, the camera did not die. The camera, what the thing I was worried about, is not is the least of my concerns tonight right now. Um, we'll just say Joe gets his wish. It's not 4K. Um, but we are actually doing 1080p tonight from the camera through the ATEM or through the Blackmagic switcher to 1080. So we're in 1080, and of course the encoder doesn't like that. So I had to go reset the encoder to get that to work. And now fonts are not working for some reason because fonts don't like to work for some reason in 1080. Yeah, nothing ever works in 1080p for me. I don't know, like nothing I ever try in 1080p works. So of course, why would the stream be any different? It probably didn't work the first time for Marconi either. That's a good one, Hank. Um, Thanks, Tony. I'm not sure there'll be much to watch, but we'll see. Uh, yeah, so basically, I am borrowing a Canon EOS 80D or 80D, yeah, 80D, and so I am trying that camera. I have a couple different lenses here to try to kind of see what works, what doesn't work. Um, I'll tell you right now, I missed my camcorder. It just worked. Um, this camera currently has a battery in it that is questionable. I have no way to power the camera directly, so therefore it could die at any moment. Um, I also don't have the right mount for the tripod, so it's just kind of sitting up there. Hopefully, it doesn't fall off. Um, so so far, my DSLR experiences is not good. We'll just put it that way. But then again, I'm a video guy. I'm not a camera. I'm not a still camera guy. I'm not a DSLR kind of person. Um, so yeah. So let me go figure out why chat doesn't work because that seems weird to me. It's doing that transparent crap again. Why does it do that transparency issue? Is that an ATEM setting? It shouldn't be. Um, Oop, that was the wrong button. Um, it's a premix key. That's weird. I don't understand why that would do that. This is the same lighting that I had before. Yeah, I probably need to play with that camera a little bit. This monitor in front of me looks good, but I will take your word for that, David. Um, why is it so? Why is it so transparent? Anyone know why that would be so transparent in the Blackmagic switcher like that? And it just died. Oh boy. Yeah. All right. So this is going well. So one thing I did finally realize or figure out today is why Rivendell didn't work. So let me call up Rivendell and maybe that'll at least work. Um, and I can show you guys kind of what I've been working on. I did learn that basically undock. So I did learn basically why this didn't work last week. So here you can actually see Rivendell in its full glory and it's working. So basically, this is the interface you're going to have on Rivendell. And what was happening last week was I couldn't play any audio. Well, now, if I click here on a playlist, of course, it's going to prove me wrong. Here we go. So now when I play, it actually plays the song. So what was happening last week is basically the jack audio was not set up correctly. And I can actually show you that under RD admin. Basically, I will say that 1080p makes this a lot easier because I can actually see everything clearer. Under jack settings here, basically Rivendell was starting the jack audio server, but it was going to the wrong place here. So I had to enter this command line to say start jack, and then I had to tell it to start the audio encoder that I use, and then connect the two together. So these were in the wrong places, or these were in a directory that didn't really exist. I forget if it didn't exist or whatever it was. Either way, the ultimate issue was that, but also tied into the fact that if you take a look at the script, and this is gonna be really stupid when I tell you what it is, but if we go to cat out, basically, I forgot to put the shell, the first part of the command in here to tell it what shell to use. So it wasn't actually using the right bash shell and therefore wasn't running. So once I fixed all these, once I fixed these scripts and put them in a location that actually worked, everything started working like it's supposed to. Imagine that. Alrighty, so Nils says the skin tone looks better, warmer obviously, but also not so uniform like on the camcorder. Yeah, that probably is true. I need to keep playing with this a little bit, obviously. So this is basically what Rivendell does. And so here you can see on the left-hand side the next couple elements. On the right-hand side is a log that I played with earlier today. Here you can see it playing, and if I call up VLC on my laptop, we can actually open up a test stream, and there's music playing, not from OBS, but from Rivendell. And if I just start the next song, There's obviously going to be a delay, but there you could see that it played the next song. So I just kind of wanted to show that, you know, when you're moving the stuff from one location to another location, or basically when you're moving from CentOS to Ubuntu or whatever it is, to check your scripts, because that's ultimately what the problem was, is the scripts were wrong. I spent a lot of time hunting for the solution only to realize it was the damn script. So that was not good. I mean, good that it works now, but obviously was not the solution I was looking for. And I do not understand. This stupid chat thing is really just bothering me. It's still acting up again. Apparently only happens for some people, not everybody, which I do find kind of odd. And chat right now has gone completely quiet. So either you all dropped off or my computer does not want to. Hold on, let me reload the window. Come on. There we go. Nope. All right. So, my OBS computer like completely kicked me out. I want to try to fix this thing, and I'm sorry. This is all over the screen. I swear I haven't been drinking. I really kind of want to drink right now, but I haven't been drinking. So OBS completely rebooted apparently because it crashed that hard that it had to reboot. Does it work now? Let me see if chat works now. Nope, still transparent. So weird. I mean, at least it's on there and it's working. It's very transparent. That's weird. No, I don't. I doubt Joe is going to DoorDash me anything this time. I still have some of the drinks left from last time. Actually, I should have brought one down with me. So yeah, so I would just say, what do you guys want to talk about? Because as much as I prepared for the day, I feel like I'm not prepared at all. Um, and yeah, the lighting is a little hot on my forehead there. Um, I really wish I had zoomed in a little bit more or zoomed in differently than this, because although I did get my focus right, it looks like, so that's good. Um, okay. What? I mean, I guess it doesn't look too bad the chat doesn't look too bad if you're doing that way. Um, I just don't know why it's doing that. It's so weird. There are things that make me just go, and this is one of those things where everything should, in theory, work beautifully, and yet it doesn't. But of course, that was the premise for the horrible stream from like 2 weeks ago. I say horrible just because it didn't feel very good to me. Hardware encoders versus software. Yeah, I have some thoughts on that for sure. Blackmagic's web presenter is expensive for something you can do otherwise. That being said, good encoders do cost a lot of money. Software encoders, as with OBS right now, it can act up. Hardware encoders, which like happened at the beginning of the stream, can act up. I always prefer hardware over software. That's why I got this whole fly pack in the first place, because I wanted to come up with a hardware solution that was better and more reliable than OBS. And then I still have OBS issues, which I find interesting. But if my money was on the line, I would go with a hardware encoder any day. It just depends on what you want to do. Software is great. I just unfortunately don't think there's a whole lot of good free software to do. One of the projects I do still want to do, and I think we talked about this briefly in a past stream, was I do want to figure out how to compile FFmpeg with Blackmagic, the SDK built in. And I know you can't, I just haven't done it yet. Because I feel like FFmpeg is a very powerful tool combined with the Blackmagic hardware. That offers some options that I think would get you something that would be really powerful. I do not think using OBS as your encoder is the best idea because OBS crashes. I mean, no offense to OBS, but it crashes. It's not the most reliable thing in the world. So maybe you need to start using dark mode on the laptop. The fonts are coming from OBS on a computer that's down here. I'm just moving on to the. So that's a good point. Just to show you my setup here. So I'm actually VNC'd into my OBS computer, and I am using the deck link output of OBS, and it's set for 1080p. It is an older card. That might be part of their problem. Go away, suggested shit. So if you see here, if I stop it, your thing goes away because it's using the deck link output, and it's supposed to be due to 1080p, but it's not. So who knows why? Did that actually fix it? Did it just need restarted? Did I actually just fix it? That's pretty cool if it was. It's still transparent. Not as bad, though. Oh, it's because it's solid background. That's why. So yeah, so I'm not doing a chroma key. It's a predefined multiplex key, I think is what you're saying. What's that setting called? Pre-multiplied key, which works great in 720, but doesn't work in 1080. Go figure. David says, I've been streaming church since 2017 with OBS. Luckily, never came across OBS. I would say you're lucky. Certain versions of OBS are more reliable than others. Also depends what you're trying to do with it. Like if you're trying to do multiple things, I find OBS to crash a lot. Then again, I'm not throwing the best hardware at it, so it might be a hardware issue that I'm experiencing. I'll try to do funky things with it, and maybe that doesn't always work the best, but just not a fan. Sorry, OBS is cool. I'm just not a big fan of it. Toro's in the house. Oh, I forgot to say hi to everybody. So yeah, David obviously is here. Oops, I need to go to all live chat. Nils is here. David's here. Joe's here. Hank's here. I think I already said David's here. Toro's here. Practical IT with Jeremy's here. Yeah, I'd be curious to know what hardware you're using, because I think if you had a more solid platform than maybe some of the computers that I've tried, OBS would be better. Yeah, I never threw that much horsepower at OBS in terms of video processing, so maybe that's why. Yeah, if you were using a dedicated encoder card, or not dedicated, you know what I'm saying, that would probably be better than using the software encoder. I've used a software encoder before, using CPU basically, and not impressed. i5 though, okay. David says you can install NDI for OBS and just NDI as an output. Yeah, you can. They definitely, the NDI tools definitely do work in OBS. Um, I actually, so story time. Um, so this weekend was our first football game for the university, and we were a little shorthanded this weekend because of the holiday weekend. And so the guy in charge went over there on Thursday, did all the setup, or at least got all the gear over there. I show up Saturday morning to set up, and I pull out a MacBook, the same MacBook that we've used forever. It has a USB network interface, and you want to know it didn't work on Saturday? The USB interface. It was like 11 o'clock. I did not have time to go buy a new one or to go back to campus because we're not actually on campus for the football game. We're down the street. But I didn't have time to go back and grab a different adapter. So now I'm literally can't do graphics because the laptop can't get to the internet to let you log in because Production Truck, which is, I guess, now owned by Huddle or is part of Huddle. I'm not 100% sure how that works. But Production Truck requires you to log in every time. So you need internet just to log in. And then, of course, you need a network to do your NDI. So I couldn't log into the software, and then I couldn't output via NDI. So we did a whole football game without any graphics because of a damn USB adapter not working. And why it chose that day to not work, who knows? And I even carry an additional one in my bag, but because this MacBook is an older one, it had no USB-C ports. So I actually was trying to... Oh, good. Now I have green lines going through the camera, or the feed. Where are the green lines? Oh, it's OBS causing the green lines. Interesting. That was coming from OBS. Huh. Interesting. So it's not, OBS is not feeding via HDMI, David. It's SDI out for key and SDI out for fill. So, again, things that shouldn't be an issue. Why does it not, what is, oh boy. the aliens are invading JStream, yep. It has to be a decklink issue at this point. I mean, it has to be. There's no other explanation about why crazy. Yes. So anyway, so we did football without graphics, which, okay, is not the world's greatest thing, but it's not the end of the world. But then we have vMix there for the main computer. We have a custom production, I think it's Production Bot. I forget the company's name, but it's a custom USB interface that has 15 rows of keys. I plugged that in. That didn't want to work either. I don't know what the deal with that one was. Finally, I got it to work after unplugging everything and plugging it back in to a different USB port. It started working, but then for some reason, vMix has a bunch of shortcuts, and we use shortcuts a lot for production to simplify things. And I could not make a new shortcut for that little button box, so I couldn't go up front and direct like I wanted to, so I had to direct from the back. Now, if you've seen my short that I published on Saturday, you'll see kind of the view I had, which is basically vMix in front of me and a little mixer overhead. And I usually sit back there and do replay. I couldn't even consider doing replay on this event because I had to direct. Plus, we were having all kinds of issues. And so without graphics, without the ability to use our custom controller, I had to sit in the back. Missed lunch because we were so busy setting up that I didn't get to eat lunch until halftime. Of course, now the way we're doing these games now is TV is the lead. It used to be that radio was the lead. Now TV is the lead. And in fact, we didn't have a radio broadcast at all. So we basically took over the lead for the broadcast was TV. So now we had to do the halftime show. We had to play player spotlights. We had to do coaches interviews and all that stuff. And to get prepped for those, it just took a lot. So I couldn't get everything set up correctly. And then, speaking of software and hardware encoders, went to go start streaming, and I was told that the streaming platform was different. And it's 5 minutes till the show's supposed to start, and I'm typing in RTMP keys into vMix, and for whatever reason, couldn't type them correctly. So I had to get an email link with the server address and the key, so I could copy and paste it into vMix. Finally got that figured out. We went live with like 4 minutes to go. And if you watch the stream, I basically walked into the audio room and said, go, or the radio room and said, go. And he's like, now? And I'm like, yes. And so that's how the stream started. Kind of like this stream. Not the best way to start a stream. But nonetheless, we got in the air, which is the point. This stream's on the air, which is the whole point. I will probably go back and rename this stream because Rivendell Part 2 seems very misleading. The one thing I will say, in my recent searching about Rivendell, I'm seeing my video pop up everywhere. It is like the Google search term for video Rivendell, like help. Minus the video, just Rivendell help. Like Rivendell issues, my video pops up. So that's pretty cool. I still need to make a new video that basically has a new version that is clean, install instructions, so I'm not doing this whole live chat. I feel like making people watch the whole live chat to see how to install something is kind of crazy. So I got to record a video where it's just me installing Rivendell and getting up to date and working, and go from there. So what are we saying in the chat? Toro says it's the embed the mothership uses. So Independence Day, yeah, we're basically the green lines are Independence Day. For those of you who may or may not know, I do the satellite stuff at work, and so the satellite stuff, the comments about the satellite feeds made me cringe because they're so bad. It's what does he say? He says switching transponders or whatever it is. Like, you don't switch transponders. Like, I mean, you could if you were uplinking, but if you're the satellite company, cable companies don't own the satellite. So why would you switch transponders? I don't know. It just made me cringe. Maybe I'm missing something, but it just, to me, yeah, that was one of those movies where it's like, that just makes no sense to me. Yeah, I would like to do Nils. I'd like to use FFmpeg with Blackmagic. I think we talked about that a while back. It was the RTMPIE stream where basically I was like, this is my next project, and I want to take like RTMPIE, which is kind of like I think it's Docker container. I'd like to get that kind of built out and change it maybe to include FFmpeg. I don't know. I'm not sure. There's a company out there called Elemental. Amazon bought them, but they basically make really good hardware, computer-based encoders. And so they have, I don't think they have Blackmagic cards, but maybe they do. And then they built this nice front end, software front end for encoding. And I would love to kind of do the same thing where you could have a web page interface. You could tell it to use channel 1 on the card. You want to encode it going here. You want to use channel 2 on the card and encode it going here. And so basically it's a nice front end to encoders using FFmpeg, not OBS, not anything else, just basically standard command line stuff. I feel like that'd be more reliable than using OBS or whatever it is. And that way you could just build a small PC, install Linux on it. No need for a fancy GUI or anything like that. The web page would be the GUI for the interface. So, yeah, Joe knows about Elemental. David, yes, I believe I did a whole video on how to do that with Nginx and RTMP. Um, and if you're going to go to Facebook, you need to include Stunnel because Facebook requires RTMPS. So if you're going to go to Facebook, you're going to want Stunnel to wrap the RTMP in a secure socket. So, why is my phone? I'm getting dings for some reason. Oh. So, speaking of phones, I got the new Google Pixel 7. Not really a fan, have to admit. Not exactly a fan. It does not work like my old Samsung Galaxy worked. The functions, like the swiping and gestures, are kind of weird. I'm not a fan of the color scheme. Like, I try to adjust the colors, and it doesn't seem like I can very well, which just seems to be stupid. Um, Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but I don't know. I just not a fan of the Pixel 7. I thought I would. I thought I would. Honestly, I thought I'd like it. Um, Not a fan of the chat app. um, Not a fan of a lot of things, unfortunately. But so I may actually. I don't know if I'm going to go back to the Samsung Galaxy. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Uh, I actually, I actually thought for a second about switching to an iPhone because I was just so frustrated with the way this phone was working and and how you can't do folders in your app drawer. Like, why not? I want to do folders in the app drawer. I don't want to have to search for everything by name and alphabetical order, but I want to just do a damn folder, and it won't let me do that either. Like, not a fan. Toro says he has a 7 Pro. While he doesn't hate it, he hates the battery life. I've actually been impressed with the battery life on this. This is just a 7, like I said. But the battery life is actually impressive. That's like the one thing. Oh, and the pictures. I I took some cool night mode pictures at the lake the other day. It was pitch black outside, and this thing. Well, here I can actually show you because it's my background currently. So on my computer, that's the wrong thing. Hold on. Still the wrong thing. This picture was taken by the Pixel 7 at night, and yeah, it didn't look like that. It was pitch black. You could not see hardly anything. I mean, you could see there was lights there, but you could not see the water. You could not see the dock. So for this thing to have that as its night mode, I was very impressed. That I will tell you, I was very impressed by. David says he's watched some of the reviews on the Pixel, and there's a ton of software bugs. Um, yeah, wouldn't be surprised. I have had an issue calling people on this before. So that's interesting. You put down calling as an issue. Raspberry Pi Ninja is interesting too. Raspberry Pi Ninja? What is that? Raspberry Pi Ninja. What is Raspberry? I don't see. Maybe I'm missing something. David says he switched to an iPhone. It's been so smooth. I mean, yeah, I mean they definitely do work. Um, oh, Jeremy likes the is the complete opposite. He likes the Pixel because there's no Android overlays. Um, then my issues are with Android then because like I want to make folders. I don't want to have just an app drawer. Um, so I've had to like resort to making my desktop, sorry, I guess desktop main screen, just full of apps, which I hate because I just don't want a whole flash screen full of apps. But I've had to do that because I don't want to search for the app each time. Um, so maybe I'm looking at it wrong. I don't know. Uh, Nils says it's like mini. It's like a mini encoder. Raspberry Ninja. Oh, okay. I see what Raspberry Ninja is now. Um, it's this thing. So, uh, yeah. What is this? I forget this guy's name. He did. Is it OBS video? No, video. I forget what it's called. It's the same guy who did Video Ninja, right? Isn't that the? That's this guy. Yeah, he. Um,
Hey there guys, in this video we are
yeah, he did. He made Video Ninja. Yep. There a web? Is there a front end for this? Like that's nice, or is it all command line? I have to check this out. If it's got a web page, I kind of dig it. But if not, I'm not sure. Um, GStreamer. Never heard of that. David asked, "What hardware encoder are you using right now?" Currently, I'm using the U-Ray no name SRT MPEG 4 HEVC box. It is it's not exactly amazing. um, can I look at the? Oh, wrong address. Can't do that actually because I'm gonna show you my stream key. But basically, it's the U-Ray boxes. Yes. Nils says it's all terminal. The video looked like it was all terminal based. Yes, I would not recommend the U-Ray. As Joe points out, there's your problem, U-Ray. Yeah, I mean, they were cheap. Do hardware encoders use ASICs for 264? I don't know. Um, I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Yeah, I almost did it. I almost clicked on the next link and that'd been my stream key. Not that I couldn't change it, but um, yeah, I would say the U-Ray boxes are not good. Um, GStreamer's a huge tool. I have to go look up GStreamer now because I don't know. I don't know what that is. How do I not know what this is? Open source media framework. Download GStreamer. Well, now you have me interested. Okay, apparently I'm going to try this at some point. There's a GStreamer conference in Spain, apparently. So what is... Alrighty, I'll have to, I guess, give it a shot. Could be interesting. Wonder if that's any easier to write a web interface for. And I guess my next question is, does it support Black Magic cards, like natively? Huh. This would make you think it does. Interesting. So it kind of feels like it can do Black Magic. Well, this is an old forum post going back to 2015. Interesting. I've never heard of this stuff. Now I have to go look up, spend my time watching videos on that. So, yeah, so basically, I'm just trying out this camera. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep playing around with it. I got to figure out a way to power the camera because currently I'm on a battery, and like I said, who knows how long the battery's going to last. I feel like I need to reach out to Uray and get some firmware updates for my encoder because I just feel like it's been acting up a lot recently. So maybe there's a firmware update out for it. I got to figure out my OBS 1080p issue because that's back. I thought it was a 1080i issue. Apparently it's just a 1080 issue, period. That card does not like 1080 anything, which is I find weird. So, unless you guys have any questions, I'm going to probably wrap it up because this battery's going to die anyway at some point. So, sorry to just kind of throw the stream together at the last minute, and but hopefully you guys had some fun. I'm glad you're all here. Hope you all had a safe weekend. I look up GStreamer, so thank you for that, Nils, for suggesting that. David, I would not go with Uray if you want a hardware solution. I don't want to say too much, but look for a review coming soon on some hardware-based encoders that I think get good reviews. Not on my channel, but someone else I know. So maybe I'm not gonna say too much. But anyway, thank you all. I hope you all had a good night. I will change the title of this stream because obviously we didn't talk about Rivendell like I had hoped. Because I got completely sidetracked by everything just not working. So anyway, thank you guys. I'm gonna wrap it up. Have a good night. Be safe.